of the Elgon Group under Dr. Bimal Kantaria with the public sector and with the university really tells you where maximum benefit can be derived from. These are the kind of partnerships that we encourage from a governmental perspective and that I know are prioritized by the government of Kenya. It's in a sense a good example of what PPP can represent to essentially fuel the growth that we look forward to and the job opportunities that we look forward to, and that rich area of the intersection between research and education and industry. And it is that, I think, which is really hopefully going to be harvested through this center that we are all going to witness the groundbreaking of today. So I just don't want to take up too much time, but just to say thank you so much for inviting us and for allowing the Indian High Commission to be part of this ceremony today morning. And we look forward to seeing this flower, this center grow, and also to see how we as India and as the High Commission can support more such initiatives in Kenya. Thank you. Asante ni sana.
Yes. So thank you very much. The University of Nairobi idea as a university was originated by the Indian community. Obviously, the Kenyan government, the governor had started the idea of having a technical college to train technicians. But the Gathi Memorial Academy said, no, let's have it as a university. And they came out and said, we are ready to fundraise, to bring money. Government to bring money, we will bring money also to make it a university. And that idea was brought. So that's why we work very closely with the Indian community. Yeah, very, very closely. We have also the statue of Mahatma Gandhi at the University of Nairobi. In fact, I was just looking, Your Excellency, at the statistics of what the first class was admitted in 1956. And of that class of 215 students, 105 were Africans and 100 were Asians. And 10 were Europeans, yeah. So even in admission, we almost half, yeah, African and Indians at the University of Nairobi. So great partner there, and we will continue to work together with that community. I think for a long time, the Gandhi Memorial also had a seat in the council. Some of the things that Shadaria keep on asking is something we will have to look into together, yeah, to ensure that that partnership that we committed to establish a university to Africans and Indian community, that continues. Good, I remember to mention this to you, so that when you see this, you remember. I think with this, then I want to invite our Chancellor, Dr. Fiju Atansi, to make her remarks, please. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm not fighting with the mic today, am I? Okay. You see, my height and this mic, we always fight. I'm too short for it. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, one of the few gentlemen left. Bimal, that doesn't mean you're not a gentleman. There used to be a joke in his days. Yes, correct? P.S. Anjoki Wangombe from Performance and Delivery, Contracting. P.S. Esther Mwaria from Tibet. P.S. Kelo Harsana from Crops. My dear friend, the High Commissioner for India, Her Excellency Ms. Namgia Kampa. Welcome, nice to see you here. The Ambassador to France, His Excellency Mr. Almu. Bimal Kantaria, Dr. Bimal Kantaria, together with his family. His mother is here today. A very warm welcome to you and to all of you. It's nice to see you here. The group CEO, Nation Group, Mr. Stephen, our friend Mr. Maina from KBC, my Chair of Council, Professor Mukowa Anangwe, other council members present, Professor Stephen Kiama, Vice Chancellor of our university, of course, Managing Director of Elgin, Bimal Kantaria. I want to say that Bimal comes from a family of philanthropists. The Ratansi family has known the Kantaria family for a very long time, and I think our vision was the same, philanthropy. Your great-grandfather came here in 1898, together with my father-in-law, probably on the same dhow. We don't know. So all your family is welcome for the second time. The staff and students of the University of Nairobi. Of course, we have our DVCs. We have Margaret Hutchinson. We have Professor Ogengo. And we have the Chief Operations Officer, Brian Ouma. All our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Is it still morning or are we just into afternoon? A very good afternoon to you all. I'm most honored to welcome you all this morning to Upper Kibete campus, University of Nairobi. Allow me to especially extend a very warm welcome to Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, Honorable, well, Ezekiel Mashoga is not here, but to our Professor Mukowa Anangwe, who, in addition to the high offices they hold in trust for the people of Kenya, are also distinguished alumni of this university. Correct? We're very honored to have you with us. We're all going to appreciate you with a clap. As you are all aware, the Kenya Kwanza government has prioritized agriculture as one of the sectors that constitute the core pillars of its plan. Already a lot has been done by the government to shore up our agricultural produce, in addition to government's commitment to the deployment of smart agriculture technologies. I am therefore delighted to be in the distinguished company of a family who has built one of the largest companies engaged in East Africa and beyond in the field of agriculture. Through sheer grit and hard work, the team at Elgin Kenya Limited has grown this company to the largest agriculture inputs company in East Africa, and in the process has been winning several local and international awards. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'm going to appreciate the Kantaria family. I shall start from the late Mr. Rajnikant Kantaria, who we knew, and the late Chandu Kantaria. It all started from there. I know for a fact that they have done a lot at the MP Shah Hospital, at the Jalaram Hospital, and if my memory is right at my age, I think you're feeding about 400 students in Tigoni every day. So well done. Dr. Bimal, we hope someday to induct you into the role of honorary alumni of this university. I think we should clap and think about that. Ladies and gentlemen, history is replete with examples of ancient technologies that were deployed in the field of agriculture. Many will remember Shadov's and Archimedes' screw of ancient Egypt or Chinampa field systems of Mexican Aztecs. Throughout the course of life, technology has more than made up for man's inherent laziness, making it possible for a few to nourish the world's billions in population. For this reason, it gives me immense joy to partake in this ceremony today, to launch the Kantaria Agricultural Technology and Innovation Center. In a world of increasing food insecurity and finite land supply, I'm convinced that technology and innovation hold the key for continued food security for the people of the world. There is therefore no better place for the groundbreaking of this agricultural and technology center than here it is right here in Upper Kabete, our home of agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate a unique partnership, a perfect union towards achieving more for more. Allow me to appreciate most sincerely the monumental generosity of Elgin Kenya Limited, who has given a significant monetary commitment towards the establishment of this center. I am happy to note the complement of benefits that will accrue from the center, least of which will be the contribution towards improvement of food and nutrition security and sustainable livelihoods for the people of Kenya and locally, robust graduate internship for our students. I am sure that by its generous representation here this morning, the government confirms that the establishment of this center is a perfect gift to the country and secures our place on the better side of history. With those few remarks, allow me to convey my gratitude to persons and organizations that have toiled tirelessly in the nights to ensure that we have an occasion worth celebrating today. It is my hope that years hence, Kantaria Agricultural Technology and Innovation Center will secure a place in Kenya's annals as the cradle of cutting-edge agricultural technology and innovation in this part of the world. As we break ground today, I look forward to the official unveiling of the newly constructed center. If innovation is anything to write home about, I look to speedy delivery, very speedy, of this project in line with the infinite promise of this center. Thank you all very much for coming here today and being part of this fantastic day for us today. The sun is shining, the gods are smiling at us. Asanteni sana for being here. God bless you all.
Yes, I would like now, Your Excellency, with your permission, to invite Dr. Bima Kantaria, together with Dr. Baiju Kantaria. Baiju Kantaria will speak first, yeah? Sorry? Yeah, he is here. So in direction, then you speak, and then Bima Kantaria will come, because we also have at that time a very quick ceremony which will be conducted by him and myself on presentation of awards. Welcome, sir. Yes, thank you.
Professor Kiama, asante sana. Your Excellency, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Republic of Kenya. Our three Honorable Principal Secretaries, thank you for coming. His Excellency, the Ambassador of France, Arnaud Sikor, Indian High Commissioner, Her Excellency, Namgya Kamka, Dr. Viju Ratansi, Chancellor of the University of Nairobi. Dr. Amukwa Anangwe, I won't forget your name, don't worry. Chair of the University of Nairobi Council. Of course, Professor Stephen Kiama, our host, Vice Chancellor of the University of Nairobi. Professor Margaret Hutchinson, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Innovation and Enterprise. Professor Julius Ongengo, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs. My brother, Dr. Bimal Kantaria, Managing Director of Elgin, Kenya. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Today is a great day, not just for Elgin, Kenya, the University of Nairobi, and the government and the youth of this country. It is indeed a historical milestone for the agriculture sector. My father, the late Rajini Kantaria, who perished in COVID, was the most passionate person I know about agriculture and education. He was raised with his father's entrepreneurial spirit in the agricultural Red Hill of Kiambu County, where the family ventured in supplying farm inputs like agricultural chemicals and fertilizers to make the region food secure, a guiding principle for Elgin, Kenya today. His legacy as a model entrepreneur and community leader remains cherished by all those who knew him. Our unequivocal resolve that we have gladly inherited from our ancestors has been the drive to uplift lives. Mr. Rajnikant Kantaria was the brains behind the construction of Nyanjega Primary School, the school you talked about, in Limuru, which has given hope of a bright future to hundreds of school-going children for the last 30 years, and whose parents were struggling not just with fees, but day-to-day food for survival. In fact, we have continued with this, and I am on the board of management for the Nyanjega Primary School. My father started a feeding program at the school that gives children food on a daily basis to keep them in school, with most of them coming from humble backgrounds. Elgin, Kenya Limited till today provides the daily porridge for those children at that school. It's interesting to note that the school feeding program that we have been doing for decades is now being introduced in various other schools in the country. We are greatly honored in the Elgin, Kenya family that the University of Nairobi has found it befitting to honor my late dad by naming this center the Kantaria Agricultural Technology and Innovation Center. Asante Nisana. Ladies and gentlemen, world over, industry, research and academia work closely to move innovations and technology from laboratories to the users for the benefit of all. While our country is advanced in uptake of agricultural technologies, this has largely been pushed by individuals than a broader revolution. This explains why uptake of new ideas has been slow and restricted to those who can afford and has access to them. The Kantaria Agricultural Technology and Innovation Center seeks to bridge this gap by opening space for all to access the most current developments. My fellow gents and ladies, if we are to tap the massive potential in the agricultural sector to create jobs, achieve food security, and provide raw materials for the manufacturing sector to unlock industrial development, we must switch to technology. Luckily for Kenya, we have subsectors like the flower industry that, unknown to the masses, is a showcase of technological uptake. Smart greenhouses that detect heat, humidity, water stress, and many other requirements have been adopted, making our flowers a global envy. When we talk about attracting youth to agriculture, through the agricultural value chain lies massive opportunities, and when fully operational, the center will demonstrate how to tap these opportunities through technology. This is what the center whose ground we are breaking this afternoon seeks to address. Mabibi na Mabwana, for me, it is a pride for Elgin, Kenya, a firm that has grown with Kenya's agriculture for more than a century, to partner in developing a facility that will transform and take the industry to the next level. This is the future of the agricultural revolution, and we are glad to be part of that history. We look forward to the day that the center will incubate and unveil the first batch of innovations. Thank you.
Yes, now is my time to invite Bima Kantaria. As I said, we agreed to work together. He's a gentleman par excellence.
Thank you. Chancellor, you heard that, right? Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful afternoon it is. Sun is shining. We were really worried this morning that it was going to rain, and I was praying to all the gods, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, please don't it rain today. So, of course, we have very senior dignitaries in the room. Your Excellency, Honorable Mudavadi, I mentioned to you, sir, that you know my family very well. You know my mom's family in Kakamega, and I think your father used to know my grandfather as well. My mom is their mom. Just wave your hand. So, why she's important, let me explain to you. She's our boss. My mom is the boss of the company. She's the boss of me and my brother and my sister. And she's the guiding force in our family. So, Honorable Mudavadi, thank you very much indeed for gracing us with your presence this morning. And it's wonderful that we have this family connection and family bond. Of course, we have three very distinguished principal secretaries in the House. Madam, if you don't mind, let me quickly introduce my brother first. I know it's the ladies' first issue, but I want to introduce Kello to you. Now, P.S. Kello, can we clap for this man? P.S. Kello is my brother. We've been working together in agriculture since the last sort of 12 months, and I represent the private sector agriculture. I chair the committee, and him and I work together quite a lot. Every single day I call him to disturb him about things that are disturbing my sector. But Kello, I really appreciate what you're doing to benefit private sector, and you're one of the few PSs I've seen, notwithstanding the two ladies here, who is extremely proactive, and I really want to appreciate the stuff you do for us, Kello. And of course, to my two new friends who have been introduced to us today, Madam P.S. Esther and P.S. Anne, really wonderful to see both of you and to be introduced to you, and I hope we can continue this relationship with both of you in the future, particularly with Tivet. Of course, my friend Ambassador Arnold from France, who speaks better Swahili than I do, which is quite shameful for me, considering I've been here all my life. And of course to High Commissioner from India, Madam Kampa, who is now really an incredible ambassador for the Asians and the Indians living in this country. Leadership from the university, of course led by Madam Chancellor. Ma'am, you've known me all my life since I was a young man, so it's a great privilege and honor for me to be with you this morning, Beju, and I. We're very, very grateful, ma'am. To my second brother, P.S. I should call you P.S., shouldn't I? VC, Wanakiyama. You know, you and I have been on this journey. I don't know where our paths crossed, but suddenly we seem to be walking in the same direction, Wana VC, and I think it's wonderful that I found a kindred spirit in you, particularly with all your team as well. I know the chair is here as well of the University Council. The two DVCs are here as well. Professor Hutchinson is also my sister now. I'm really grateful that we met in my office, and this relationship has obviously blossomed, and Brian is here as well, so great. The whole leadership is here, and I've invited many guests this afternoon. With your permission, I've invited people from all over the country, and can I just ask my guests to stand up, because we have very distinguished guests, chairmen of organizations, chairmen of temples, and CEOs, and KCB Foundation. There's so many distinguished people. Can I ask all my guests to stand up to be recognized? Lee Karuri is here. Really, thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Bwana Maina is here. Mr. Rao. So thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us this morning and for gracing us with your presence.
I'm going to come to the KCB Foundation in a minute because I want some money from you in a minute. But ladies and gentlemen, I think it's great this partnership is happening. I think it's very rare to find a public-private partnership like this with government. I think it's unusual. And I think why it worked, Your Excellency, was, as I said, I think this university leadership that we have in place right now is really quite different. To be completely transparent, I talked to other universities about this project, but they all were complicated. It was all difficult working with these guys. I met the Chancellor at an Asian Foundation event, and I sat next to her not knowing who this incredible woman was, and she just recited to me about how my dad was, and I thought, wow, what an incredible person. The next day I bumped into Professor Hutchinson, Professor Kantaria at the university, who brought me to the VC, and suddenly, very quickly, things moved, and I was shocked, to be honest, Bwana VC, how quickly we met. I met him in his office. The next day we were here at Kabete campus. He brought his whole team. Within a week we had an MOU signed. Things worked really quickly, and I think that was the reason. I think we just got along so well. So I want to congratulate the whole team at the Nairobi University for really buying into the vision that made UoN have about what's happening. As we all mentioned, our company is old, 1898, 120 years. I'm the 4th generation in my company. I'm praying and hoping, wishing that the 8 kids who are in that corner, can I have my kids standing up, please? The 5th generation eventually join my company and join our... Guys, now you are in witnesses in front of a couple of hundred people. You cannot not join my company now, so you're all stuck. So that's the 5th generation, but in front of them are the 4th generation, and I want to recognize some of those as well. My sister Lena is there, my second sister Raki is there. Please stand. My wife Hiral is there, my sister Rokamala is there. Please stand quickly so that we all recognize you. My mom, my MD, my boss, the chairperson of everything in my life is my mom. And my 2 aunts, Shobna and Josna. Josna flew especially from England to be with us today, so... Being a Moindi, we love family, right? I know you all love family as well, so it's important to recognize them. Why we're all here, as you know, it's part of our family's ethos of giving back to the community. We've been doing this for close to 120 years. I know Lee is in the room and he's been to several of our projects. MP Shah, you'll see a wing, Jalaram Temple. We raised 2 billion shillings at the Jalaram Medical Center. I don't know, Your Excellency, you've been to see it, but I think you need to come and see this incredible building that we've now put together. It's a medical center as well as a temple, and the chairman of the temple is here. But it's the lowest cost medical center in the country. The latest technology we have in the building, with the latest CT scanners, latest all the equipment. We raised 2 billion on purely private donations, mainly from the Asian community, but we have lots of other donations as well from around the world. It's an incredible achievement purely done on private sector donations. So, Your Excellency, I do invite you to the building, to the center, and I want to acknowledge my sister Raki and her father Rasipai, who did an incredible job with that project, and we're very, very proud of it. The point being, I think it's genetic. To give back to society, to give back community, I think it's within our Hindu dharam. We call it dharam. It's our religion of giving back to the community. And the Africans have a very good saying. They say, do not eat alone. If you make money, you share. Isn't that right, Bwana Maina? Share with your community. And that's exactly what we're doing today. Of course, having it with the Nairobi University, with the Apex Education Institution, I think is just cherry on the cake. I think, Bwana VC. More and more I understand about your leadership, Bwana Chairman. It just fills me with a great sense of pride and joy that we're working with you. And as I said, this is called Dharma. You know what Dharma is? My destiny. It's our destiny that all of these institutions, the 35 universities, we ended up with yours. And I think that's just, a connection that is done wonderfully. We have got a number of projects we work with government. Today, of course, we're going to launch the center, but we also have an internship program, Your Excellency mentioned to you. We take in 20-25 students every 6 months. We train them. We pay them 25,000 shillings a month stipend. And today we're graduating the first lot. The third big project we're doing with PS Kello is we run the National Farmers Competition, and we've been running for the last 8 years. It used to be called the Presidential Farmers Competition under Kilimo, but as a company we took it over 8 years ago. We spend about 10 to 15 million shillings a year. It's a competition. We honor the best lady and woman in agriculture, the best youth in agriculture. There's 9 or 10 categories where we do. It's a big ceremony we do at the end. The president himself gives out the trophies at the ASK show in September, October. The ministry and the PS Kello do the judging, and we just fund it. So between us, we have a very good collaboration. We have a joint agreement signed. And for the last 8 to 10 years, we've been doing it. And what the interesting thing is, the winners that we had given prizes to initially have all become big farmers in this country. There's a very famous lady farmer in Kirinyaga who gave the very first prize to the best woman in agriculture that time. She's now got about 200 acres under cultivation. She exports her crops. So just by us doing this partnership between government and private sector, we've managed to change lives. And I think it's a wonderful partnership that we are now cultivating as a PPP, as they call it. So there's lots we're doing as a company, as Elgin and government. And really, I think what we're really proud of, Your Excellency, not that you're here, is because I think your government this time has prioritized agriculture for the very first time. After a very long time, we've seen a great deal of money. Yeah, I think we should clap for that, shouldn't we? Yeah. We put in a great deal of money in agriculture, including the fertilizer program, all that. I think that's really benefited farmers. And we want to congratulate you and His Excellency for being such visionaries in that field. Now finally, ladies and gentlemen, there's no such thing as a free lunch. There is lunch after this. But there is no such thing as a free lunch. And my request is, and I've invited a number of you this afternoon for a very selfish reason. The center is going to cost us, I know my brother hates this thing, but it's going to cost us a lot of money. My brother is the one who makes the money in the company, and my job is to spend the money. So it's a good relationship we have. So this is going to cost us between 50 to 60 million shillings, and we're going to donate it to the university. But our concern is what's going to happen once the center is ready, and that's why we're looking for partnerships. We want anybody out there who wants to partner with the university to please come and see us after this. One of VC is here. We need capacity building. We need equipment. We need lecturers to come. I see Snare is here from Moringa Schools. We need all these kind of good people around. KCB is here. Once the center is ready in 52 weeks, we hope. After that is when we need partners, really. It's going to be a big department to run. And we can't do it ourselves, and I know universities are obviously open to suggestions on how to run this. But the vision is clear, which is important. So please, if you can help us, government, I know PS Kello is here, if you can find partners for us, direct in the university's way. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming. Thank you very much for being our partners, for being such gracious hosts. I want to once again thank all the guests that we've invited this morning, this afternoon. And I really want to thank my family, my late dad, I know, is up there looking at us, smiling and being very happy that what we're doing. So thank you very much indeed. Thanks, Mom, for allowing us to spend your money as well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.
There was a small segment of presentation of certificates of the students who graduated from the UoN Kenya. Dean, proceed. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Our chief guest,
You can use this one. You can come here. Go up here.
Thank you. Our chief guest, Prime Cabinet Secretary. We are happy to be here to present one of the very first fruits of the Kantaria Center, the students who have gone through internship. Let all those students who are getting certificates for internship, please come and be on my left. All the students, please come. As they come, I want to thank the Vice Chancellor for giving me this opportunity to present the names. I'm Professor Moses Nyangito, Dean, Faculty of Agriculture, in our midst, and the chief guest. That's the work of deans to present names. They are my colleagues here, other deans. Dean Vet, Medicine, Professor Chonmande, where are you please? Mas Shetin, Kadami Kunyanga, please be there. Cheremia Karai from Kikuyu, I see you. And another team present, thank you and welcome. Let's see on this side. Yes, I still do. Akura, Murphy.
It looks like graduation certificate. You see the certificate?
Ali Mohammed. Awino Agai. Chebet Glory, we present her in absentia. Cheragat Caroline.
Okay, thank you.
Tande Kefin. Kibet Gift.
Well done.
Kimtai Meshak. We present one to Kibiegon and Atlanta in absentia. Kosgei Nathan. Lenchuli Victor. We present one in absentia to Rumasia Derek. Another one we present in absentia, Maliga Isaac. Mitamo John. Murwa Johnston. Maniki Mila. Norman Koppas. Okumu Beverin. Okumu Gideon. Chuchu Florence. And finally, Wangombe Panis.
Sorry.
Thank you, sir. Those are the 21 interns who have graduated from this partnership. Thank you.
So, Your Excellency, out of the 21 students who worked with us, what we had done, we had asked them what they wanted to do. Did they want to be in manufacturing side, in the factory side, sales, marketing? So we let them choose, and then they walked around wherever they did after 6 months. The good news is, after graduation, a number of them are now working full-time in my company as our team. A number of them have got a vision now of starting their own companies. They want to start their own businesses. A number of them have found jobs elsewhere. So I think this is an excellent system of acclimatizing them to the real world. And I think, I know your government is putting an internship program together, but I think I'm really, really proud of what we've done with the students, and really fantastic bunch of kids. And we're very proud of them. So well done to all of you. Excellent job, guys. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, now it's my pleasure to invite Esther Vara Moria, who is representing the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Education. Welcome. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I read my boss's speech, let me say that my being here is a very nice accident, because I was only brought a letter this morning and told you, go to the University of Nairobi, you are the acting CS. And that also partly explains how I came slightly late. It's not in my DNA to get in here late, but I only learned a few minutes before that I was the CS. And why I say so, because in my department, that is TVET, we are now very busy cabinet secretary crafting the curricula so that we are training from industry, with industry, in industry, for industry. And therefore, I'm very happy, and I met Rajiv. Where is Rajiv Shah here this morning also, who is one of the chairmen for one of my institutions, Kisumu National Polytechnic, who will easily link me to Elgon, because they are going to become a strategic partner for me. And we agreed that as they received me, so I will be in a big hurry to come and meet you. Your Excellency, my brother, actually, not big brother, we are age mates. My brother, Hon Musalia Mudavadi, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, my two colleagues present here, Dr. Viju Ratansi, Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, my big brother, Dr. Amukoa Anangwe, we haven't forgotten you. Professor Stephen Kiama, the Vice Chancellor of the university. I am also an alumni. Mr. Kelon Hasama, PS, I've already recognized my colleagues, Asama and Ann. Her Excellency Mangia Kampa, High Commissioner of India to Kenya. His Excellency the Ambassador of France, who is speaking very good Swahili. Every time I'm invited anywhere to give a speech and it is in Swahili, I get an excuse to refuse, because what is killing in Kiswahili now? Dr. Bima Kantaria, MD, Elgon, Kenya, who I am very pleased to meet this morning. Stephen something like that, CEO, media staff and students of the University of Nairobi. And I also want to recognize the Dean of Students, Ireri Kenywa. Are you around? That's a strategic friend of mine, and we did our PhD studies together. And I also want to appreciate Lee Karori. Lee Karori was my year mate at the university. No, he was a year ahead, but he was also a friend, or a very good friend of mine, and I'm happy to see you this morning, Lee. So let me read my boss's speech. I am honored to be present at this momentous occasion that marks the groundbreaking for the construction of the Agricultural Technology and Innovation Center. This center, conceived through a collaborative effort between this distinguished institution of higher learning and a leading player in the private sector, Elgon Kenya Limited, represents the essence of partnerships and collaborations that fuel education, science, technology, and innovation. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to UoN and Elgon Kenya for this remarkable achievement. As we contemplate the comprehensive objectives of this center, it is evident that we are only merely constructing another facility, but rather we are not merely constructing another facility, but rather we are embracing a new way of thinking by recognizing the vital role of industry in the teaching and learning process. The center's sole purpose is to allow Kenyans and UoN students to experience innovation and the latest technology in agriculture. UoN was recently ranked among the world's top 2,000 in the Center for World University Rankings and is also among the top 10 universities in Africa. Beyond this prestigious ranking, I take great pride in the tangible contributions of the university to various sectors of the Kenyan economy. Through your unwavering commitment to excellence, the university has continued to play a crucial role in driving progress and advancement in the nation. The impact reverberates across multiple domains, from fostering quality education and promoting cutting-edge research in health, ICT, and agriculture to empowering the nation's governance structure. And by providing skilled graduates and groundbreaking research, the university has greatly supported the functioning of the three arms of government, of course, judiciary, legislature, and the executive. I am pleased to highlight that through the partnership between UoN and Elgon Kenya, a model internship program has been developed. This program will facilitate experiential learning, instilling of students holistic skill sets that align with the dynamic demands of the world of work in order to increase chances of commercial success and to accelerate uptake of technology along the agricultural value chain. As I conclude, I would like to encourage strategic thinking on how Agricultural Technology and Innovation Center can contribute to the internationalization of the university. At this early stage, strategies should be developed to attract international participation through conferences, student and staff mobility programs, and collaborative initiatives. Before I invite my brother to come and speak to you, let me say that two things that I have learned from our hosts today, not the university, but Elgon, is that I think I am saying this at a big risk. Our Kenyan men should also learn how important it is to honor ladies. And that is, I'm saying this at a great risk, because two things that I know have actually propelled the Indian community to where they are is, one, their honor of ladies, and number two, their giving culture. I have learned through the ages that it is and through my Christian stand, that it is by giving that you receive. The more you give, the more you receive. These people have never been poor for 120 years, and they will never be poor for all their generations. And the secret is giving. Thank you very much. I personally honor you. I want to collaborate with you because you are going to form an industry where my students will learn. Thank you very much. It is now my great pleasure to invite my brother, the chief guest, Honorable Mudavadi, to come and address you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. All right, please be seated. Okay. Good afternoon. Now, when Madam Esther was speaking, she said we are age mates. And since the Chancellor has said that I'm one of the few gentlemen left. She actually means the political arena. But it seems we don't have a good reputation there. But since I'm one of the few gentlemen left, I will not tell you my age because it would be wrong to nose around about the age of a woman. So I will keep that to myself today. The Chancellor, Dr. Vijay Ratansi, Chancellor of the University of Nairobi, Professor Amkoa Nangwe, Chairman of the University of Nairobi Council, Professor Stephen Kiama, the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Margaret Jesang Hutchinson, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Innovation and Enterprise, Professor Julius Ogengo, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, His Excellency Arnaud Sucre, the French Ambassador to Kenya, Her Excellency Madame Kampa, High Commissioner for India, Mr. Gitagama of the Nation Group, and his colleague or counterpart from the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, the Kantaria family, the two gentlemen who have been here, and the entire family. And it's indeed true that Madame there is known to the family from the Kotecha family in Western Kenya, and we've had a long relationship from my father down to me. And since it's a question of bringing in the new ones, I'll also make sure that the ones behind me get to know the family well. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Before I make my remarks, let me just at the very outset say that I am actually here on behalf of the President. He would have really liked to be here. He has been driving the issues around agriculture, innovation very passionately. But sometimes state matters have their own dynamics. So I bring you his best wishes, and I'm sure he'll be following up very closely on the progress that shall be made through this partnership. So here I go. We are gathered here for the groundbreaking of the landmark Agricultural Technology Innovation Center, ATIC. This initiative, that is a partnership between the University of Nairobi and Elgon Kenya Limited, marries the vast knowledge and expertise of academia with the financial strength of industry. This center is intended to be a leading agricultural innovation hub that will anchor sustainable agricultural development in our country. I therefore extend my heartfelt appreciation and that of the Government of Kenya to the University of Nairobi and Elgon Kenya Limited for this remarkable endeavor. In transforming our agricultural sector, the center will enrich the lives of Kenyans, and we do not say this in vain. The agricultural sector is the backbone of our economy, contributing approximately 33% of Kenya's gross domestic product. The sector also employs more than 40% of the total population and 70% of the rural population. Nonetheless, there is rising demand for agricultural products given by population growth. For instance, Kenya's population is estimated to hit 55 million this year. To meet the rising demands of this rapidly growing population, we must invest and annually increase agricultural production by a minimum of 2%. This is despite economic hardships climate change, land scarcity, dwindling water resources, decreasing agrodiversity, and soil fertility, besides post-harvest losses. Institutions specialize in science, technology, and innovation, such as ATIC, that will allow more production for less, are our beacon of hope. Ladies and gentlemen, lest we are mistaken, we are not reinventing the wheel. The power of agricultural technologies and innovations has already been demonstrated across the world. During the 20th century, as somebody did say here earlier, I think the young man, the Green Revolution, also known as the Third Agricultural Revolution, saw current developed countries use technology, transfer initiatives to greatly increased crop yields and agricultural production. These changes in agriculture spread globally till the late 1980s, when the combination of high-yielding crop varieties, fertilizers, and pesticides, coupled with mechanization led to a threefold increase in grain yields against a 30% increase in cultivated land. In an agricultural economy such as ours, we should never apologize for innovating, especially when increases in agricultural productivity trigger outcomes that result in improved livelihoods. Examples in the deserts of Israel and other parts of the world are quite relevant in our adaptation of agricultural technologies and innovations. In any case, studies show that we can reduce the number of poor people by 1% for every 2% increase in crop productivity. Indeed, if agricultural development has 11 times more potential to reduce poverty than any other sector of our economy, why would we shy from innovations targeting the agricultural sector that means poverty reduction? Now that we will soon have our own Agricultural Innovation Center, accessible to any Kenyan seeking lessons in homegrown agricultural innovations in a wide range of issues, must make us proud. But pride is not enough. We must patronize ATIC's research expertise in soil fertility management, crop protection and improvement, seedling technology and horticulture, animal production and health, and preventing post-harvest losses. Allow me to turn to the relationship between the academy and industry. For far too long, the debate on the value of education, especially university education, to industry has reigned on in Kenya without practical interventions. Insufficient capacity to innovate, inadequate entrepreneurial skills, and poor work ethics have been cited as some of the missing links between the university and business development in Kenya. A pragmatic solution to this problem must lie in the collaboration between institutions of higher learning and industry. Such partnerships, while enhancing the innovative capacity of our university graduates through internship programs, also enable universities to deploy industry players to offer practical experiences, to enrich students learning as guests, visiting, or adjunct lecturers. Tailor-made courses designed and delivered with input from industry can contribute vastly to molding job creators and job-compliant graduates. What we are witnessing today, therefore, is a typical example of the collaboration between a market leader in agribusiness and a research-intensive university. At the heart of this partnership is the transfer of knowledge, skills, and competency packages to the students. I am also pleased to learn that the collaboration between the two entails the acquisition of hands-on skills by graduates of the university through a joint internship program designed to offer experience in real work settings across the country. I consequently join you in celebrating the successful completion of the inaugural program involving 20 students. Ladies and gentlemen, universities are designed to offer education and training and also conduct research to solve the problems afflicting society. Now, more than ever before, we must strengthen the contribution of universities in delivering their research products to end users. We must put behind us the culture of university research outputs with high potential to uplift the livelihoods of our communities ending up in repositories. I am aware that the principle of publish or perish, strongly enforced in universities, has contributed to this state of affairs. However, this standard could be a double-edged sword. It does stimulate research, yes, but can also sacrifice the innovation potential in favor of numerous quick publications. The low level of patents emanating from university research explains the gravity of this matter. Collaboration with the industry is therefore necessary to usher in a new dawn founded on the principle of publish, patent, and prosper. My view is that the ATIC will enhance the commercialization of research outputs and accelerate the transfer of technologies to society. ATIC should be an open exhibition of technologies and a meeting point of innovators and their clients. In this manner, ATIC would be self-sustaining, contribute immensely to food security, promote agribusiness development, and enhance the realization of Kenya's Vision 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals. Meanwhile, it will be amiss of me if I did not mention a pertinent issue affecting public universities. This is the issue of insolvency. Inasmuch as innovations such as ATIC will enhance the efforts in university financial sustainability, university managements have the responsibility to protect scarce resources by putting them to proper use. Recent reports about the financial resources of universities are not encouraging, and austerity measures are called for. I have recently issued strict policy measures to guard against graft and wastage in state corporations, and universities are no exception. The Inspectorate of State Corporations has clear instructions to discharge its mandate in holding state corporations management accountable for financial malfeasance. There will be frequent inspection of individual state corporations and universities to ensure conformity with statutes, regulations, and policies. In particular, boards or councils and the CEOs must respect the division of labor between them as a matter of course to enhance effectiveness and efficiency. But it is not all about punishment. We have invested in their capacity building under the State Corporations Advisory Committee. And I just want to emphasize that indeed the President, who is also an alumni, has this year in his budget enhanced the resources going to universities from 44 billion Kenya shillings on an annual basis to about 85 billion Kenya shillings. So this statement is underpinned by the increase in the budgetary allocations for all our institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to a transformative agricultural technology and innovation center, a facility that will revolutionize our agricultural system to finally make agriculture more appealing to the youth. The Arctic vision embodies a sustainable, commercial, competitive and vibrant agricultural landscape poised to reshape the dynamic future of farming in Kenya. I therefore consider it a privilege to be part of this groundbreaking process and urge other universities and research institutions to adopt this progressive model. Before I step off this podium, let me just flag out one or two things. One, I think the message of me being here, Wangombe being here, Kela being here, PS Crops, and Madam Warrior, and indeed others, is that we must break away from the notion that the private sector is the opposition of government. We have been targeting the wrong people in our political discourse. The private sector is not the opposition, and they should not be treated as opposition. We must develop solid partnerships. The second thing that I think can be a takeaway is that since we have not been able to meet the target of 2% of GDP on research, for research and development, maybe there's a little more we need to do in that space. Perhaps even in the partnership process, I'm not saying it's been done yet, but it's something we can develop. We could create an opportunity through Parliament for there to be a tax deductible benefit on resources that are directed towards research and development. This is a window that can be cultivated, and we can develop it together if we partner appropriately. Let me also just say that the emphasis around agriculture is so critical. We must stop conflict. Conflict that causes loss of life, that disrupts economic activity, that sometimes blows up into actual war situations, and the disruptions can be very devastating. We all know now the consequences of the interruptions and disruptions in the supply chain because of a war that is taking place away from us. It's causing havoc. We also know, and it's man-made. It's man-made. We also know that there's the other twin, which is now the climate change havoc. Again, it's man-made, primarily. We are seeing things that we have never seen before, and all this is a threat to food security. As I was walking through the stalls and listening to Mr. Kantaria, he actually confirmed that that fertilizer, the 50 kg bag, had actually dropped from 7,000 to 3,500. Now, I don't know whether you may have seen, I think in one of the publications today, it's now beginning to manifest that in some parts of the country, because the government of Kenya made a deliberate effort to focus on the production, Now, if you go to Uasin Gishu and certain parts, the prices of food are beginning to come down. So this is real. It's for us to get it right and for us to pull in the right direction. I'm not very good in Kiswahili, but there's a gentleman who is in my office there. He's called Mongo. And I was being interviewed in Kiswahili, and I wanted to talk about fertilizer. Subsidies. So I started struggling. What do I say? And he told me that subsidy is called what? Ruzuku. Ruzuku. And then he said, I don't know whether the French ambassador knows that. And then he said, kuna ruzuku ya matumizi, consumption subsidies. Na kuna ruzuku ya nini? Ya uzalishaji, kuzalisha. Kuna ruzuku ya hiyo. That is production, isn't it? Ruzuku ya production na ruzuku ya matumizi. Now, the message the president has been talking about is that if we are going to address food security and we are going to address the prices of the cost of living, then our subsidy cannot be ruzuku ya matumizi. It has to be ruzuku ya nini? Uzalishaji. Anyway, kuzalisha. So I think this is the message I wanted to put here. And maybe the final thing I'll just go with, in order to emphasize the need for private sector to really work with the government. And Kantaria, when you are talking about the universities that were hesitating and getting mingled in protracted bureaucracy, I'm sure if they are watching this, they must be regretting. They must be regretting that you approached them, they had an opportunity, but because they were embroiled in their own bureaucracies, they lost an opportunity. That should speak volumes to us, that in order to walk this journey, we must also cut down on bureaucracy, be able to make decisions faster, and to onboard the private sector on matters of this nature even faster than we have done in the past. And there was an American ambassador here. She was called Aurelia Brazil. I think the senior members in the hall may remember her. And there was a debate about privatization. And I think at that time I was in the Treasury. And privatization was being seen as some kind of evil agenda being brought on the people of Kenya. And she once asked me, is it possible to tell your fellow Kenyans that when we talk of a partnership and we talk of privatization, can you imagine if we were to talk about the Kenya Airports Authority partnering with an American entity or a British entity or any other, even Middle East, so that you can have the injection and infusion of private sector efficiency and the management of the Kenya Airports Authority pooling together? Can you imagine what you can do in terms of getting the resources to modernize our airports and our aviation in that space by partnering? And she said, when people resist, whether we like it or not, the Kenya Airports Authority and its infrastructure still remains a structure, an investment that is embedded in Kenya. she concluded by saying, I can never uproot it and take it to Los Angeles. It will always be an asset in Kenya. So the message I'm trying to put across is this. The Kantaria input here at the University of Nairobi shall never be uprooted. It will remain an asset of the Nairobi University, and it will be here, and he's not walking away with it. So it's just as simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, next time I come here, I'll be seeing the building and enjoying a round of golf. God bless you.
Para